Beat it. You there?
Yep, Queen Latifah, you executive produced and star in Bessie, about the life and career of blues singer Bessie Smith.
Especially for her time, there's been no one like her, and I thought it would be a lot of fun. She had lived a very full, rich, diverse life. It gave me lots of to have fun acting and singing.
How much did you know about her life and her career before you started making the film?
I didn't know anything really about her. I hadn't really heard of her, because I was 22 when this project first came to me. And homework, I got her box set and started listening to her music, and I thought, wow, this is completely different than what than rapper slash actress Queen Latifah was doing. It was totally different than what I was used to listening to. But I could recognize the power of her voice and the uniqueness of it, and I thought it would be kind of fun to get a grasp on that and bring that across to the audience.
It did take a while to finally bring this project to fruition. What do you think? Why do you think it took so long to finally get it to the place where it is now? It's about to be released.
Yeah, there's a bunch of different reasons. I'm sure that it initially didn't get made, but I think every time, I think what we were looking for was really finding the right story to tell, because she has so many stories that we could tell. It's like, how do you find the right story, the real story, something that has a vision, because she has so much. You have of showing Bessie's vulnerability, her real need for love. Bessie had many lovers, so kind of figuring out that character. Once HBO was on board, and they've been on board for years with this, they've been working really hard. And my people, Shelby Stone at my company, has agent Randy, stayed on it throughout the years. We all try to figure out what was the best story to tell, and I think Dee was the one who was able to capture something pretty.
She had a big breakthrough a couple of years ago with the feature film Pariah, and now she's doing this much different project, but although similar in some ways, I would think. Tell me about what it was like working with her on set, and her how you two approached certain scenes and certain elements of this together.
I think Dee really had a strong vision of what she wanted it to be, and visual, we didn't have a lot of time to rehearse. So I think one of the most important things that she did was to do these sort of workshops with us as actors where, we kind of cut through all of the small talk, and we were able to confront each other or sort of deal with the emotional scenes, whether it was confrontation, whether it was love, whether it was anger. We were able to kind of workshop those things in about a week, pretty much, and I think it really helped to allow us to really play those scenes authentically. So workshops with Candy, workshops with Tika, workshops with Monique, getting in each other's faces, and Latifah in Monique's face, Latifah in Candy's face, and bumping shoulders. And, once you kind of do that, then, everything else is, now we're good. Now we can get on set and not feel unfamiliar in any way, or worry about Monique's actually in the room. I'm looking at Ma Rainey now, it's not Candy in the room, it's Viola. It's not Tika, it's Lucille. It's not Mike, it's Jack, So that, I think that was very helpful for us.
You mentioned Michael Kenneth Williams, who played your husband in the film, and you have intense scenes with a lot of actors in this film, but with him in particular, they have such a fraught and as actors, prepare for some of those intense scenes you had together.
Mike and I, we've known each other since we were teenagers. We used to hang out in New York. We kind of grew up together. So this was the first time where we finally got to make a film together. So we were excited about it. And Mike brings it, and I bring it. So I really think it was just us being generous with each other, being kind of giving. Um, if he's in a certain headspace, or if I was, giving each other the space to kind of work that out, working through these scenes, taking extra time with Dee to make sure that the blocking felt real, that how we would have a fight is how we would really have a fight, and then letting her move the camera where she needed to put it for this fight to really feel real. So, we talked through a lot of that stuff. We talked through the stunts with the stunt coordinators. I mean, we did pretty much everything. So, everything had to feel like it could really happen like that, because we're those kind of actors, So, and then just hanging out, between scenes, catching up on all the things and all the people that we know together and hadn't seen in a while. And so, we're good friends. So the chemistry was natural. That was easy to do.
Being a musician yourself and telling this story about a famous musician, did you feel a special connection to Bessie Smith compared to maybe other characters you've played?
I did, because I've kind of walked in those shoes throughout my career. I mean, I know what it is to sort of start from the bottom, to be self-made, to create your own company, to gain success, I mean, I don't think my ego ever got as out of control as Bessie's did, but being humbled in different ways, getting up and dusting yourself off, and um, partying too much and hanging out too much and sleeping with the wrong person, maybe, all those things I kind of been through. I've been through those things. I've been through hurt, been through pain. And so I felt like I had more of a real place to speak from when playing her, because we have shared some of those same things, as even kind of being a fighter for other people, for women, for equality, for African Americans, equality. So that's been something I've always been about my whole career. And then, hey, coming home and being alone sometimes after all the success and all the highlights, then damn, you want somebody to share it with, and you don't have that person maybe at that time. So I felt like I could relate to all those things, and of course the music.
Yeah, Smith's music does play such a big part in the film, of course. What was it like to be able to sing and to record her songs? Did you feel kind of pressure to try and follow her in terms of singing that material?
I did feel a little pressure. I did feel a little bit nervous. There was a woman named Carmen who helped really kind of blues coach me a little bit. I really wanted to be as educated about the blues as I could and what the feeling is, because this is not something that's normal to me in terms of what the type of music that I sing. I can't say I'm a blues expert. So I needed to get up to speed pretty quick, and I had to make some decisions about what parts of Bessie I could deliver with my voice, and what parts I couldn't, or didn't want to, because I'm not her. So I couldn't sing it. Evie and the guys at HBO and the group of people that were assembled were all blues musicians who do this all the time. So we kind of managed to get the sound and the feel, and I just would go in, and if I didn't like it, I'd go back in and want to change. Call this piano player. I want to work on this part. I need to feel this a little differently or a little better, to play it for the scene. So we just worked it. We just worked it until we got what we felt was a good marriage.
Early in your own career, you were primarily known for hip hop and rap music, but since then, you've sung and performed in such a variety of styles. You mentioned not being a blues expert coming into this, but you performed different kinds of music in Living Out Loud and Chicago, and you recorded the Dana Owens album, which was more jazz material. Have you always had that kind of broad array of musical tastes?
Okay. Yes, I've always had that diverse musical taste. My father played nothing but jazz, pretty much. He strictly jazz, real jazz, kind of purist instrumental type things. And then my mother played everything from gospel to rock and roll to folk. to R&B, popular music, musical stuff. So, I mean, I kind of just had this, I grew up with that. And then even African drums. I mean, my family would have drumming in the house and music playing in the house and live instruments. So we kind of were able to bang on those things as kids and just hear all different kinds of music, from salsa to different African rhythms to reggae. So it was always music of different sorts around me. So moving into when I became a hip hop artist, I just could not just do beats and rhymes. I needed to put some jazz in there, put some salsa in there, put some reggae in there. You know, I needed to sing through these things. So that's always been the norm.
Thanks, Daniel.
Oh, thank you. I guess I have to go now.
Thank you very much for chatting with me today. It was a pleasure talking to you.
Great job.